Alright, Stride deck set stuff reveal now, with this time the Shiranui ride line, so let's begin. And no cards of the day, so let's just get on with it. So like usual, we start off with the starter, Stealth Dragon Madoi. Moving on to the grade 1, with 8k power Stealth Dragon Suzui, which of course has the same skill as all the Stride deck set grade 1s, where auto when placed by riding on top of the grade 0, you draw a card, and then you get the Shiranui Orbital Crest. Moving on to the grade 2 with 10k power Stealth Dragon Genkai, which has the skill auto when rolled upon by the grade 3 Shiranui, you may call this card to rear guard. If you call the card, soul charge 1 and then choose one of your opponent's drop zone units and call that to the rear guard. So basically you get a free card and also set up for your dominant plays. Yes, for those who don't know, you want your opponent to have a field presence, because Dominate's playstyle is basically taking control of your opponent's units. That's basically what Dominate is. But anyway, the second skill, auto rear guard. When the Dominate unit attacks, costs counterblast 1. The attacking unit gets plus 10k power to the end of that battle, and this unit gets the boost ability. Like I said, it's all about taking control of your opponent's units, so giving them extra power to basically attack with them is pretty nasty, especially if it's on rear guard to the Vanguard, because yeah, your opponent is basically taking extra small pokes in the face. Basically, it's its own unique way of multi-attacking. Also, this card gaining the boost ability is also pretty nice as well. And then we go to the Demonic Stealth Dragon Shiranui Orbital, which is basically copy and paste of the original, because of course 11k base. Of course, during beginning ride phase, you can choose one card from your opponent's drop zone and call it to the rear guard, and then at the end of turn, retire that unit. Purpose is to give your opponent a rear guard so you can dominate. In which the second skill, you dominate auto Vanguard when you stride it, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, dominate it, and plus 4k into the end of that battle. Remember, this is a copy and paste of the original, so if you have original versions, you can use original versions for the deck. But what's important, just like the other Stride deck set, is the crest, and it's a copy and paste like the other ones except for the last skill, which of course you can only ride the main grade 3. Original power becomes 13, gains 5k for every face-up card in the G zone for your front row, because that replaces your persona. But the unique ability is that count during your turn. When your opponent's rear guard is placed by card ability this turn and it's dominated by you, it loses all its original count and auto abilities into the end turn and it gets plus 5k. This one I kind of get, it's a little bit of a nerf, because yeah, you can use your opponent's abilities of course, because you're taking control of them and it's going to be considered your unit until it's done dominating. But the nice trade-off is the extra power, because most of the time realistically you are not going to be using their abilities. You're going to be basically using them just to attack your opponent, and that extra power can be extra shield value lost to your opponent. Of course, some of the abilities are better than having the extra power, but it's just nice that you basically get the extra power, because most of the time that's what you need more than the abilities. And glad that Dominate so far isn't completely broken. And then we go to the first Stride unit, Emma Stealth Dragon Magun Tenbu. I was kinda hoping it would have been Mujinlord, but oh well. Generic Stride stats, and it has the Dominate ability of Act Vanguard once per turn, cost counterblast 1, turn a face down card from your G zone face up, choose one of your opponent's rear guard, stand it, and dominate it. And then of course it attacks another unit, and then retire that Dominate unit at the end of the battle. Basically it's the same thing as the original Nagu Tenbu, but the original Magu Tenbu gets the unit extra 4k power for every face up card in the G zone, so it's unfortunate it lost that. But of course this is first Stride and there's really no other option for first Stride, so obviously you just have to use this if you're playing standard. But in that, there is other support stuff that you can just use for the extra power, like Genkai. So there are ways, and plus Shiranui himself, which is going to be another 4k into the end of the battle, so that might be a 24k attacker on the grade 2 that you will retire, and that's going to be 2 attacks extra, so yeah, that could be nasty. But anyway, I am curious what they're going to do with Shiranui Mukuro though. Will it dominate the Vanguard and attack all your opponent's units again? Just saying. And finally, before we go, here's the final card, Stealth Dragon Utsurgi, which is the PG. So this is for the Shiranui ride line for the Stride deck set. What do you guys think of it? Honestly, since this is Stride deck set, the ride line is really nothing special other than the grade 2 with the unique ability. But in that, this is the return of Dominate. Of course, since this is Stride deck set, they're probably not going to make too much support for the Stride deck set, and kind of glad that it's not going to be over supported, because I don't want things to be OP. A little bit worried about the Dominate aspect though, because using your opponent's rear guards to attack them extra times is pretty nasty, especially when you're going to be able to dominate multiple times in a turn. But so far, when you think about it, a lot of decks do multi-attack with their own units anyway, so this is probably not the worst thing that can come from this. But I am curious what Shiranui Mukuro will do. Will it dominate the Vanguard again? Probably yes. But other than that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.